Yaps. It's in the name. Okay. Now what about this about JJ Ping?
They become a topic of discussion worldwide.
You and Xi Jinping have considered each other friends. How can that friendship be reinvigorated to help de-escalate some of the recent tensions and resume dialogue and cooperation with China?
Look, the relationship between India and China isn't something new.
Definitely not. Very old cultures.
Both nations have ancient cultures and civilizations.
Yeah.
Even in the modern world, they play a significant role.
I'm hot, guys.
If you look at historical records, for centuries, India and China have learned from each other. Together, they have always contributed to the global good in some way. Old records suggest that at one point, India and China alone accounted for more than 50% of the world's GDP. That's how massive India's contribution was. And I believe our ties have been extremely strong with deep cultural connections. If we look back centuries, there's no real history of conflict between us.
I don't like Doge now because they redheaded that racist. What are you talking about?
It has always been about learning from each other and understanding one another. At one time, Buddhism had a profound influence in China,
Is Buddhism no longer the main religion in China? And if not, what is the main religion in China?
and that philosophy originally came from here. Our relationship should remain just as strong in the future. It should continue to grow.
And I wish, honestly, I wish America's relationship with China would turn, because I don't think it's positive, right? And I want it to turn to be positive. And I think China's even come out and said that the Earth is big enough for both countries to succeed, and I very much agree with that.
Of course, differences are natural when two neighboring countries exist. Occasional disagreements are bound to happen, even within a family. Not everything is always perfect. But our focus is to ensure that these differences don't turn into disputes. That's what we actively
Mm.
work toward. Instead of discord, we emphasize dialogue. Because only through dialogue can we build a stable, cooperative relationship that serves the best interests of both nations. It is true that there have been ongoing border disputes between us.
Mm.
And in 2020, the incidents along the border created significant tensions between our countries. However, after my recent meeting with President Xi, we have seen a return to normalcy at the border. We
That's
are
good.
now working to restore conditions to how they were before 2020. Slowly but surely, trust, enthusiasm, and energy will return. But of course, it will take some time since there's been a 5 year gap.
Yeah, I mean there was murder and death on both
Our
sides.
cooperation isn't just beneficial, it's
One
also
side
essential for global stability and
understood,
prosperity. And
definitely
since the
justified,
21st
but
century
still.
is Asia's century, we want India and China to compete in a healthy and natural way. Competition is not a bad thing, but
No.
it should never turn into conflict.
So wise, man. Conflict is a good, or competition is a good thing, but it should never turn into conflict.
The world is worried about a brewing global war. The tensions between China and the United States, in Ukraine, Russia, in Europe, in Israel.
And now with speaking of Israel, it's kind of unfortunate because if we go over here, if we go Gaza Strip, we just type in this. What's gonna be the first thing that comes out? Israel has successfully eliminated. Oh no, this is okay. Hold on. Israel. Why don't we just do this? Okay, I'm just trying to say that Israel broke their ceasefire and bombed the Gaza Strip, right? It's March 16th. That was just a few days ago. Not the
Middle
best timing.
East. What can you say about how we in the 21st century can avoid a global war, avoid an escalation towards more conflict, more war?
Look, COVID exposed the limitations of every nation.
Yo, to my Indian brothers, how was COVID in India? Did you guys shut down? Like, that's a good, like, that's something I actually don't know. What was COVID like in India during like 2020, 2021? Were you guys shut down?
No matter how much we consider
'Cause I
ourselves as
can't,
a
I
great
can't see
nation,
India shutting
no
down
matter how
like the rest of the
progressive we
world.
think we are, or how scientifically advanced we believe we've become, everyone has their own way of looking at things. In the end, we all found ourselves on the same ground. Every country in the world faced this reality. At that time, it felt like the world would learn from it, that we would move toward a more unified world. Just as a geopolitical order emerged after World War II,
India was in lockdown.
many thought
I
something
just can't.
similar would happen post
I can't
COVID.
see that.
But unfortunately, instead of
You guys are too wild.
moving towards peace, the world became even more fragmented, ushering in a period of uncertainty.
Ugh.
And the wars have only made it worse. I believe that modern wars are no longer just about resources or interests. Today, I see so many kinds of conflicts happening. Physical battles often get discussed, struggles are happening in every domain. International organizations that were once powerful have become almost irrelevant. No real reforms are happening. Institutions like the UN are failing to fulfill their roles. People who
Wow.
disregard international laws and rules continue to act freely, and no one can stop them. In such situations,
I don't understand why no one can stop them. If they're breaking the rules, why can't everyone who's following the rules come together and eliminate that option from happening again?
the prudent choice for everyone is to let go of conflict and move toward cooperation.
Agreed.
And a development driven approach is the way forward. Expansionism will not work. As I've said before, the world is interdependent and interconnected. Every nation needs one another. No one can stand alone. And
Thank you,
from all
Yash.
the different forums I attend, one thing is clear. Everyone is deeply worried about these conflicts. We can only hope that peace is restored very soon.
I'm not very
You
good at
keep
this.
looking at your watch.
No. I barely know what I'm doing, Prime Minister. I'm not very good at this. Okay.
I think his response to China was honestly it was beautiful. And I even saw this on Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I'm going to try to look it here in the background. But not only did I think it was beautiful, China did as well, because they came out and said, "Hey, we are definitely open to continue to have cooperations and better relations with India." No, I think that that's it. The idea of the world putting down their guns and focusing towards cooperation. Russia, we're looking at you. Stop focusing on your expansionism into taking other territories. Instead, just develop the country that you have. I It's kind of hard to disagree with Modi on pretty much any of this.